I'm Victoria from Biblio Lifestyle, and you're listening to the Reader's Couch podcast, the show that will help you bridge the gap between living a full and busy life to one where you're reading, learning new things, and having fun. In today's episode, I'll be talking all about seasonal living and how you can embrace the season and be present this fall. So, if you're looking for new ideas and tips on how to make the most of the season, then this episode is just for you. So stay tuned. Hi readers, welcome again to the Reader's Couch. I'm your host, Victoria Wood, and in today's episode, I'm talking all about seasonal living, and I'll be sharing different ways that we can embrace and be present this season. So it's official, autumn has been here, fall is here, and with each changing season, I always want to encourage folks to just take a second to start thinking about how you can make the most out of the season. Now, first off, I really want to say that how we embrace the way we show up, the way we are more present, the way we just do everything in life won't be the same for everyone. So what works for me might not work for you, but what I do hope is that you'll take some of these ideas and suggestions and either just run with it the way I'm sharing it. But I'd love it even more if you make those tweaks and personalize it and make it your own. And again, I hope it inspires you to just kind of show up, take advantage of the season and be present. Again, I've said it a million times on different episodes, of course, that autumn is just a transitional season and it's something that I love. And with each season, with each change, I'm always thinking of, okay, how can we as human beings adapt to the changes that each season brings? And how can we embrace all that it has to offer us, all that it's showing us, teaching us, feeding us, and just, kind of giving us these different experiences. So in this episode, I will be talking about how you can live with the season of fall through just very simple, but I'm hoping you will find them incredibly rewarding actions, because for me, they were incredibly rewarding. So I'm going to share some tips and some ideas on how you can make the most of the season. But before I get into the 5 things I'm recommending, I know some of you might have questions about seasonal living, from what it is, how it works, what the benefits are. And if you're hearing about seasonal living for the very first time, I want to direct you after you listen to this episode to kind of go back to episode 104. Now, in this episode, it's entitled Summer State of Mind, Discovering the Joy in Seasonal Living. And even though that episode is summer specific, the first half of the episode really gets into the nitty-gritty of what seasonal living is. So first off, I start by talking about what seasonal living is. I even share some benefits of seasonal living, and then I get into practical ways in which you can show up and be present and live more seasonally for the summer. But the first half of the episode really gets into the what, the why, and the how. Well, not the how, the what and the why. Yes. And this episode will give you all the autumn hows. So just in case you're new to seasonal living, you have no idea what it's about, go back to episode 104. Okay, now let's get into the 5 different ways you can show up and be present and make the most of this season. Now, the first thing that I'm recommending that you do to kind of show up, connect, and embrace the season is to first connect with nature. I absolutely love connecting with nature. It gets me so grounded. Sometimes it's as simple as just hugging a tree, sticking my hand in the dirt, and just, feeling something that's real. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. You just have to do it and feel it. I was chatting with a girlfriend the other day and she was saying, no, it's because you're an earth sign. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but connecting with nature, I think, is an incredible way for you to connect with the season. And autumn is the perfect time to do that. A simple way that you can embrace the season, you can go for a long walk, you can go for a hike, or you can even just go for a bike ride. If you live in an area where the leaves are changing colors, I highly encourage that you get out and just, take a look, go for a drive. Even if walking, hiking, bike riding is not up your alley, take a car ride and just take in all the stunning colors of fall and the leaves changing. Another thing you could do that is a great way for you to connect with nature is actually visiting a local farm, if there's a local farm near you, or an orchard, or maybe you can go apple picking or pumpkin picking. I can never say that word. Pumpkin. Yeah, you can go apple picking or pumpkin picking, and you can do this with your family or friends. It's a great way to kind of not just be out in nature, but also to enjoy the produce that fall brings. Another thing you can do to celebrate the season is with seasonal outdoor activities like hay rides, corn mazes, and bonfires. And that is actually one of the designs I had in the fall reading guide. So in 2021, the cover was actually a fall hayride where everyone is reading. And that is the design you are seeing on our fall themed merch right now. So if you go to bibliolifestyle.com/shop, you will see fall designs, which is a fall hayride. And the following year, we had a pumpkin patch and a corn maze. So these are just, see little hints at what you can do throughout the season, because we're even giving you ideas through the covers of the fall reading guide. But more seriously, step 1, connect with nature. I think it's a great way for you to celebrate the season, but also to enjoy the beauty that the season offers. So yeah, connect with nature. Okay, step 2, a great way for you to connect with the season and to be present and just to embrace all that it has to offer. Consider decorating your home. If this is something that you love to do, if you love home decorating, go for those reds and the oranges and the yellows. These are signature colors for fall. You can create a cozy atmosphere by, just incorporating little pops of these color throughout your home decor. Consider incorporating natural elements such as leaves, acorns, pumpkins, pine cones if you have them. That would be really great. Consider changing your bed linens and your pillows. Throws even. Throws are really simple without kind of overdoing it. But look at all those plush items in your home, like the pillows, the throws, the linens, duvets, that kind of thing. And if you can incorporate those warmer, richer colors to kind of create like a comfortable living space, that would be incredibly helpful. Bring out the candles, if you like candles, and use them as a decor. Get pumpkins, apple spice scents, just little things to kind of create that inviting ambiance. And again, you can do as much or as little. It could just be buying a seasonal candle that you can light that will have that smell. Personally, when I make beverages at home, I'll just pop a cinnamon stick in water on the stove before I make certain things, and the smell that just fills the house is just absolutely wonderful. So I personally love cinnamon, so that's something I gravitate towards this season. But if there are other scents that you love, incorporate them. It's a great way to just kind of bring the season inside your home. So consider colors, consider soft items, the throws, the pillows, that kind of thing. But also think about the scents. I think that's a great way to kind of bring the season in. Okay, the third thing that you can do to embrace the season is to indulge in autumnal flavors. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think about autumn, it's soup, stew, and hot beverage season. Now, let's be clear, I drink hot tea and coffee all year round, so it really doesn't really matter to me. But for other folk. Indulge in those warmer beverages, but also soups and stews. So I would recommend that you take advantage of the season by indulging in those pumpkin flavored beverages. Now, I know some folks don't like pumpkin spice latte, some people do, but there's a beverage, apple cider, spiked hot chocolate for adults, and for the kiddies you can just give them the regular or hot chocolate there. But I also recommend experimenting with seasonal produce in your cooking. So your pumpkin, your squash, your sweet potatoes, consider making a big batch of soup or chili and just enjoy it on, in the comfort of your home. If you have a fireplace, great. Curl up on the couch, under a blanket, a duvet, a throw, or just have a family meal together at the table. But bring in those autumnal flavors. I know for sweets and treats, what do you call it? The candied apples. That's great. Pumpkin bread. All kinds of things that are out there. So embrace the seasonal produce and bring in those flavors. Okay, number 4, the fourth thing that you can do to embrace the season is to start a hobby. I think fall offers a great opportunity to develop a new hobby that you can enjoy throughout the present season and the next. So here's some suggestions. Consider knitting, crocheting, or even painting. I think it's really great to keep your mind active, learn new skills, but also you can use these items as gift items. So I always say, when fall comes round, you need to start getting sorted with your holiday gifting. Now, if you were at the Epigraph Literary Festival or you purchased the replays, I highly recommend you listen to that crafting session with Francine. And not just listen, actually watch, because she has lots of pictures that she provided. She also had some downloadable PDFs with ideas, but also ways to track your gifting and your supplies as you're crafting and creating things. And I just remember watching the chat and just so many folks sharing how they had the best intentions to kind of knit or crochet something to give as a gift, and they were busy at it like the night before trying to get it done. So Francine has a great planner that's incredibly helpful, a great way to kind of know what supplies you have on hand, as well as what you might need to buy. And she's just an incredible resource. Her website is the Organized Crafter Brain, and I'll include a link in the show notes to the resources that she offered attendees. But again, shameless plug, but I also highly recommend that you watch her session at the festival. It was just filled with great ideas and resources. So the good thing about doing this in autumn is that you can have stuff ready for gifting in the holiday season, but also beyond, because again, gifting isn't limited to the holiday season. You can also, as an alternative to the knitting and the crocheting and maybe the painting, I'm considering doing a pottery class. You can also try your hand at canning and preserving or even baking. I think that's a great way to kind of save up on those flavors of the season. Now, my nan was always canning and preserving and pickling and just doing this and doing that, She always had glass jars with things, I vividly remember that during my childhood. I remember my mom doing it. And, I do it on occasion, but not often. But it's a great thing to do in the fall season. And then, you have all this stuff on hand to use throughout the winter months. So, incredibly helpful and beneficial. And it's fun. It really is. And you could also do this as a family activity. So if you want to go at it solo, great. But if you have a family, it's a great way to kind of get everyone involved. So consider canning, preserving, pickling, and just, doing all the things. So essentially, you can find a new hobby in the autumn that's also seasonal. Okay, so number 5, the fifth thing I think you can do this season as a great way to just be present, but also to embrace the season, is to consider decluttering and donating. Now, decluttering is a great way to prepare your home for the season, but it's also an opportunity for you to give back to others. So I highly recommend you go through your closet, go through those seasonal items and decide what you want to keep and what you can donate. Now, I want to point out, because I've worked with numerous charities and numerous groups over the years, not everything that you have is in great condition for donating. I know you might think, well, I don't want to waste this, but they're not always a good fit for donating. So I'd highly recommend, before you drop anything off at any donation center, is just to kind of check their website. They usually have one, and they would have a guide to what items they need and what items would be great for donation. What would be good candidates for donation? I think that would be incredibly helpful. And then for those things that aren't good candidates for donation, trash them. And depending on what it is, maybe you can recycle them. But I just want you to be mindful, not everything that's in your house that you don't want is a candidate for donating. So I just wanted to point that out. But just go through your closet, see what you can donate, go through your house, make a pile of clothes that you haven't worn. You know, you can consider donating it to the thrift shop or a charity organization. I always encourage donating to a charity. If you need extra cash, go to a thrift store. But also, decluttering is a great way to kind of relieve stress and lighten yourself and your home. And it just creates a peaceful environment for you to kind of enjoy the season. Because another thing that tends to happen during the holiday season is that we tend to accumulate more stuff. So if you can be mindful ahead of the season and just kind of declutter a bit. I know people always think of spring cleaning, but autumn is also a perfect time to kind of do that as well. So yeah, and when the holidays come around, consider donating those gifts that you don't want, that are brand new. So so step 5, declutter and donate. Alrighty, readers, so those are 5 ideas and tips on how you can make the most of the season and be present and just embrace all that fall has to offer. So quick recap, idea 1 is to connect with nature. Number 2, consider maybe decorating your home. 3, indulge in autumnal flavors. 4, consider starting a new hobby. And 5, consider decluttering and donating. Friends, I don't know about you, but living with the season, I feel, is just a great way to not just be present, but to enjoy life's simple pleasures and just fully embrace all that the season has to offer. So again, whether you're connecting with nature, indulging in fall flavors, starting a new hobby, or decluttering your home, I hope these simple ideas and tips will help you celebrate the autumn season. And I hope it helps you be more open and be a bit more aware and just kind of, let the season just nourish your mind and body and soul and just be open and be present as best you can. So I hope you'll take advantage of the season, and I hope you'll make every day a celebration, or just have, a little win and a little peace and a little happiness, and, just do one little thing that puts a smile on your face. Alrighty, readers, that's it. That's all for today's show. If you haven't already, please leave the podcast a 5-star rating and review wherever you're currently listening, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Please, it really helps the podcast and it helps keep me going. And that's it. That's all for now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And I'm looking forward to talking with you again soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Reader's Couch podcast. Please subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and take a few seconds to leave a rating and review. Until next time, stay lounging, stay reading, and whenever you're in doubt, go straight to your local bookstore or library. Thanks again for listening, and happy reading.